Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. Could we do roll call, please?
Commissioner Milne?
Here.
Commissioner Milne? Commissioner Nicolason?
Here.
Commissioner Laird?
Here.
Commissioner North?
Here.
Chairman Freeman?
Here. Could you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Thank you. Move on to the approval of the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move to approve the consent.
Mr. Chairman, second.
I have a movement to approve and a second by Commissioner Milne, a second by Commissioner Nicolason. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion is approved. Move on to board appointments. Mr. Rob Hendry for Natrona County International Airport Board of Trustees. We have a motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Milne, second by Commissioner Nicolason. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. It is moved. Congratulations, Mr. Hendry.
Thank you.
And as a last minute item, we need to add a consideration of an amount of $850,000 to be applied to the Midwest water line.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Laird,
Second.
second by Commissioner Milne. Do we have any discussion on this? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Okay, so time we'll open it up for public comment. Anybody want to make comments from the public?
Rosemary Saban, 9460 West Zero Road. I wanted to point out that, based on the last meeting, that the commissioners are not here for the benefit of the county, but rather for the benefit of the people. It was discussed after the fact. If you're going to mix words and twist what Judy said, perhaps I can provide some clarity. What's the purpose of the Zoning and Planning Department or its board? It seems to me that its main objective should be to reduce the burden on the commissioners and the people by way of maintaining growth in its prospective areas. I've been disputing a lack of action and cautioning against actions with CADE, and it's got me thinking and observing the bigger picture. One chief complaint is that the board voted to increase the cost per acre foot of water prior to the people weighing in at a budget meeting, rather than increasing the maintenance cost for repairs needed, which is detrimental to acreages in size of 10 acres or more. There's a point, and in truth, we are likely very close to or have met that juncture right now. That's where the cost of production outweighs any profit. This will create a burden on the people in the future when ag land is sold and subdivided for being unprofitable due to the increased costs aided in strongly by all entities. The resulting outcome will be that Colorado and California will take our water. Using irrigation to keep the appearance of lawns will not be considered necessary. Another issue that I and others have is parallel is theft. Ultimately, it's stealing from the people in providing a future of self-reliance in having food and water when we are losing ag lands that provide these, which is more crucial than energy and the want for recreational facilities. Changing for building permits based on product cost, application filing fees, and inspections only serves to generate revenue for something we already pay for through mill levy taxes taken in and paid to the county. I did not receive water last season that I paid for, in addition to a loss of a second cutting of hay. When the subject of being credited for paying for services not rendered was approached, it was stated that it's never been done in the past. So the things that are and have been done wrong in the past should perpetuate into the future? Should we continue allowing boards to not do their job at the cost of the citizens? This year, I paid an increased cost for maintenance, which is the primary reason for the non-conveyance of water last year. Where you have a role in these matters is that what we currently pay for should be delivered without additional cost. Agricultural land must be preserved. No water can be put on land that has not been water righted according to state law, so the value of its protection is crucial. Zoning and planning should keep growth confined to adjacent development, where land valuations do not increase the cost of adjacent properties, adding to the profit loss in the cost of taxes on agricultural land. In a subdivision, a minimum of 35 acres is required to receive agricultural zoning. If the parcel is smaller, it's residential, and the cost is substantially higher.
Ma'am, I just stop you real quick. So we do have a 3-minute time limit on comments, so if you could just wrap it up for me.
What is gained or given with one hand is lost and stolen from the other. Salt Creek Heights and along Yellowstone Highway 2026 is where business should be located. We don't need zoning changes to ag land for more industrial ground for the reasons above and for the following. To articulate and clarify on the point Judy was trying to make 2 weeks ago, zoning has its place when it's limited to protection and legitimized aspects. A crusher on that parcel that we've been talking about is a financial burden to the citizens. That is what the focus, scope, and prerogative of the zoning should be limited to. I have credentials to speak about heavy truck operations as I have a Class A CDL and move drilling rig components. I also had a crane license and drove straight-bodied trucks with a limited turning radius. Making 90-degree turns into that approach will create issues in breaking down the shoulder of the road, creating a hazard and repair costs. The trucks have already created issues with impeding traffic. The proposed liner beneath the surface is subject to damage from crushing, puncturing, and allowing contaminants to reach the surface, runoff, irrigation, and domestic well waters in that area. There's an impenetrable rock formation under that entire area of the Vista West subdivision, which leaches out into the drainage to Casper Creek and south through the drainage toward the Belt Loop Road. Both return water to the Platte River. To recap, subdividing and rezoning agricultural land, especially irrigated land, creates issues for the people in the long term, a loss of water rights for the state, and crop shortages. Zoning should be limited to only that which cause a financial burden to the citizens, building in floodplains, building on unstable ground, allowing business growth in wrong areas where the services do not support them or they're detrimental, paying for services not rendered.
Thank you. And just to be clear, from this point forward,
That's wrong.
No, it's
That's
not.
wrong.
It's not wrong.
You said this last time. There was so many people in here, and that's why you limited people. Okay? Well, there ain't nobody here to talk tonight, and you're paid to listen to us, and you will, as long as it takes anyone to say something. I am sick of this corrupt bullshit.
Okay, well, there's
you guys
gonna
pull.
be some order in here. You will have 3 minutes to talk, and then that will be the end of
Well,
it.
I'll
So,
give you 3 minutes.
okay, go ahead.
Wanted to start with thank you for the book. It only took 8 weeks after it's passed.
Yeah, could I get your name and address, please?
Judy
for the
Jones,
record?
335 North 8 Mile.
Thank you.
Have you guys got a letter back from the DEQ on that property with the tow truck?
Not at this point. No, we have not.
Okay. That's Jim's deal. I wanted to talk, you guys, okay, here it is. The boards you men are about to be placed on are some powerful boards. You will help decide our future land use, business uses, and some of you are not on these boards for the right reasons, I fear. I see possible conflicts of interest. I see property rights could easily be usurped and ill-gotten gains for some members' decisions. The last meeting, I want to note that Peter and Jim were texting each other under the table like a couple of high school kids. I would ask that all the phones be placed on the goddamn counter there and turned off during meetings. You're here to
Okay, I'm
listen to
going to
us.
stop you right now, Mrs. Jones. Again, there's going to be some order within these meetings from this point
Apologize.
forward. Nope, let me finish. There will be no cursing or profanity. There will be no personal attacks upon any commissioners or any staff members.
Okay.
That will not happen anymore.
Okay, why is Jim on the Wyoming Commissioners Association Board and not you? That is usually reserved for the commissioner's chairman, and it has been that way for the last 20 years that I've watched this board. I don't know what they're doing on these other boards. The Casper Area Economic Development Alignments, Jim's on that again. It says, my question, what credentials does Jim have on any finances, period? Business assistance, picking winners and losers in business and grants and oaths. To me, that board should be eliminated. It's like your 17 zoning districts. You got too many. Okay, you can get rid of that board because it's junk. It's all about Agenda 21. It's picking winners and losers in businesses and all kinds of stuff, and I've never gotten a grant from any of them. The Natrona County Airport Board, along with Mr. Hendry. Well, we fired Hendry, so why is he on that board to begin with? I think we need to put the co-chairman on that board. The Economic Development Board, Jim and Steve. Well, Jim, Steve, I'm glad you're on it. But Jim helped develop this land use plan that's a monstrosity that we're going to spend days going through and trying to pick out the garbage in it. Metropolitan Planning and Counting is, Natrona is not a metro area. It's sparse, and the people are sparse. The development out there is sparse. Being on this board has me worried for Peter because he's going to be playing lawyer or planner to make things nice and cozy for himself and maybe his pals. This has been one of the most corrupt boards for the last 20 years. I'll guarantee you. I have seen some things go down on this board that should have been arrested. People should have been arrested for it. The Metropolitan Planning Organization policy, another junk board. Let's see. To me, it seems like Peter and Jim think they're commissioner, chairman, and co-chairman, and the rest of you guys are flunkies or they're subordinates.
Mrs. Jones,
So-
I'll have you wrap up, please.
I am done. I just want you to know you guys are on notice, and I'm going to watch you.
Okay. Anyone else that would like to make comments? Okay, we'll go with commissioner comments. Commissioner Milne.
Well, he took off, but I was going to congratulate Rob for successfully navigating that application process. No, no comments. I need to get down to the CCA meeting.
Okay. Commissioner Nicholas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's interesting how people talk but then leave without listening, how they read their notes in front of us without reading the resolution for zoning. I continue to think a lot of people are stoking the fires based out of ignorance and greed, and I think that's sad, and I think it does a disservice to this community. I continue to be pleased with the zoning resolution, and I think while it might not be perfect, it is a good balance and will treat the citizens of the entire county fairly, and will be good for our long-term planning and consistent with our comprehensive plan. I was pleased tonight to be supportive of the Midwest Edgerton pipeline project. That's going to be a good thing for the county and for those residents in the north part of our county. I was pleased that Rob Hendry was appointed to the board. We had 4 very qualified applicants. I think Mr. Hendry showed to 4 of the 5 commissioners why he was deserving of the appointment. I think that his knowledge and background on the board, the fact that he was, of the applicants, really the only one that was rural-based, and I think that is an important area for representation on the airport board. I think that we have entrepreneurs and attorneys on that airport board. I think that someone that is connected like Rob Hendry throughout the state is also important. So I was pleased to see that. Turning to kind of a bittersweet point, and that is this is the last meeting at which our very capable county attorney will be advising us. And I've known Eric Nelson for many years before I was on this board. And he has always done a very admirable job as counsel to this board and to the entire county. People that know him know that it's not just legal issues. He's done a lot of just consulting and advising on non-legal matters for a long time, and we're very grateful and really appreciate everything he's done. Thank you, Mr. Nelson. You've done great work, and while we hate to see you go, we know you're going to do great things for the city over there. So best of luck to you.
Commissioner Mill.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to say that too, Eric, sorry. It's been a pleasure working with you for the 4 years. I honestly don't know where this commission would have been working through COVID, working through the hospital cell. Your assistance, guidance has just been amazing. Your work ethic has been amazing to watch, and you will be sorely missed.
Commissioner North, do you have anything?
Just be careful with the weather coming in the way it is. Hope everybody drives safely, and I hope to be back there soon.
Okay, Commissioner Laird.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, I haven't worked with Eric long, but recently he's impressed me with the depth of knowledge he has for the county. And having been a former city councilman, I'm happy to see him go to the city rather than leave town or something crazy like that, because he really is a guy that we're going to miss. And hopefully he won't wander too far if we really have some serious questions we need to get answers to. So good luck in your new position, because you deserve it. The issue with the commissioners giving, at least putting up $850,000 towards the water line out to Edgerton and Midwest is a great thing. I applaud all the commissioners for that, because they're in our county, they're people from our county, and this will take care of their water problem, I hope, and give them a good night's sleep. And I think everybody is really in favor of this beyond. And I'm sorry that it took this long. Hopefully it'll happen for them and get the work done, get everything done on it as soon as possible. I've been getting some information on our hospital. I'm just hoping that it isn't all true. I know that some doctors are leaving and what have you, but we have a lot of good Wyoming people working up at that hospital, and I hope everything turns out well for them. With respect to board appointments, they have to be done, and this year I think it may have been changed a little bit by the current chairman. and people were brought in and interviewed and voted upon. And anybody who wants to have put their name in could have done that. And so it's like anything, there's an election and somebody wins the election. With respect to the board appointments of the commissioners themselves, most of those were done by the last commission before us new guys got on here. And I guess that's the way they do it every year. I'd really like to see that change, where when a new commission takes place, whoever they are, then people sit down and talk about all these board appointments, because some of them are appointed for 4 years. So I hope we take a look at that at some point, because I think it's good for all the commissioners to be on certain of these boards, because it'll give them a greater depth of knowledge and understanding what's going on, especially things that we're being asked to vote on, like a new library, which I hope we get at some point fairly quickly. And the other thing I'd like to see somehow built is a new community center, a place where we can have big numbers of people attend and come to Casper for meetings, especially with the new state office building down on Collins. I'd also like to see a hotel built down there, because that will bring more people to the city of Casper. Cheyenne is having all the big conventions down there this week because of the legislature, but I'd like to see them come to Casper as well. And one of the drawbacks we have is we don't have a really big, nice place to have all of these meetings. So I think that we've got a great board here, and the election's over. It's time to leave all the election aside and do what's best for the citizens of this county. I agree with the two ladies who were speaking. The citizens of this county, the people who elected me, are the ones who I feel I represent. I think that's what the statute says, that's what the Constitution of Wyoming says, and so I'm a person, as I believe all of them are, want to do the best for the people of Natrona County. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, just a few things. As you can see here tonight on the monitors themselves, we're changing a little bit of technology with the county and trying to forward think a little bit. We have timers before. I don't know what we really used to say that your 3 minutes were up, but now it's clearly going to be on screens. There'll be a time frame for people to talk, and once that's done, then that's the end of it. When it comes to board appointments, some of those may have been just appointed in the past. From this point forward, board appointments will be opened up to citizens of the community to apply for, and there's a process that is in place. So once they apply, there'll be an interview process, and the best person will be picked for the job. I can tell you the board appointment for the Natrona County International Airport Board of Trustees, we had 4 people that applied for that, and after doing interviews and doing the process the way it should be done, Rob Hendry was found to be the best out of the 4 candidates to take that board position. So it was done right and correctly. It followed a procedure, and he was the person that was picked for a multitude of reasons. But Rob clearly is the one for that position itself. Moving forward with this year, we are looking at the comprehensive plan for the county. It's time for us to review that. Obviously, when we look at that, that could change or not change zoning in the future. So I just want everybody in the public to know that the new zoning regulations are out there. There's plenty of time for people to review them, review what we had, put your thoughts together, because at some point in time, after we go through some other steps, we'll probably circle back to that. So it's out there, and there's plenty of time for people to get their comments to us. There's going to be some public open houses again later on in the future that you can also meet with our planning department and give your thoughts there. Natrona County Parks right now has 2 positions open. That's currently open right now, so if people want to apply for one of those vacancies, they most certainly can. And I believe in February, first part of February, those will close, and then we'll have an interview process to pick the right person for that job, or for those positions. There's a lot of changes taking place. I myself have not been here at the county except for, well, less than 2 weeks now, but I have worked with Eric when I was mayor of the city all through COVID, and I appreciate everything that you did during that time frame, and looking at the lengthy list of job duties you have over here. I appreciate and applaud you for your job well done over here, and we're certainly going to miss you. The city is definitely benefiting from our loss. So with that said, I'm sure I've got other things I could ramble on about, but that's about it for tonight. So anything else from any of the commissioners? Okay, then we will stand